And welcome inside Delaware Live Weekly. Nick Alessandrini alongside Mike Lang, Glenn Frazier, and Jason Winchell. We are deep into our fall playoff season for football. Already crowned a certain amount of champions. We'll talk a little bit about that in just a little while. We'll also look ahead to our football semifinals this weekend. Christmas coming early for a lot of us. Some great matchups this upcoming Friday and Saturday. And then a little bit later, we're also going to dive into, maybe if it's in the back of your mind right now, our basketball rankings. Basketball set to get underway this weekend, actually. So I know we're still in full football swing, but basketball is set to begin in just a few days. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And Glenn, Mike, Jason, how we doing on this Tuesday night, irregular week for us? We're here on a Tuesday.
I'm all confused on a Tuesday night, but it's almost like a night off here, Nick, before we get cranking up with the football and basketball starting. Basketball starts tomorrow, so it'll be fun. Right.
Yep, doing great. Looking forward to the semifinals this weekend. Can't come soon enough.
Absolutely. Jay, how you feeling? You get out of that bunker at all now that we have we're into football playoffs? You don't have too many numbers to be crunching, right? You're out exploring.
Yep, I'm out and watching these games
there
now.
We go. Well, there we go. And guys, on Saturday, November 20th, we crowned our field hockey champions. Again, the championships were held at Dover High School, and Division I championship was Cape Henlopen and the Smyrna Eagles this year. The Vikings won 4-0 to remain the only Division I champion in history since they made that split back in 2017. And then we saw our Division II championships as well. Delmar, Newark Charter, familiar faces in Delmar, and of course, the Wildcats take home yet another state championship. They also remain the only Division II state champions since that split in 2017 as well. Guys, we had a chance to check it out. We crowned our champions, Delmar, Cape Henlopen. No surprises there, right? We're used to seeing them hold up the trophy.
Yeah, they're both just machines. I saw a little bit of I didn't really see much of the Division I game, but we were busy at next door setting up for soccer. But I did get to see a little bit of Division II. I was running over to the other stadium, and I think I was there, Glenn, for 5 minutes total, and I saw 3 Delmar goals. They won 8-0. It probably could have been more than that, but just it's unbelievable, the programs. And these kids, they go to Cape and to Delmar because they want to play for those programs, and it says a lot about the coaches down there and the job they do. And it's kind of like volleyball up here for the girls. It's field hockey and then softball down there for them. So not really surprised. I'd like to see maybe some closer games once in a while, though.
But Glenn, Smyrna making their first state championship appearance. So again, more down near your area there. But the Eagles making their first ever appearance, though. But Cape Henlopen, too much for them in Division I.
Yeah, I got the opportunity to call both of those games, and for Cape, it was their 16th championship appearance, and they won the title for the 12th time, and that's 10 titles since 2011. And really, Reagan Sabatoni, she scored first. It was barely 2 or 3 minutes into the game. Then the Vikings added a big goal with 6 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Now, that's got to really hurt you if you're Smyrna. You had them 1-0 in the first quarter. Quarter's almost over. Second quarter, maybe some momentum. Yeah. No, they let that goal in with 6 seconds to go, and I think that was really the backbreaker early on. Rishko, she scored that goal with 6 seconds left in the quarter, Lulu Rishko, and she assisted on Reagan Sabatini's opening goal. It was 3-0 with 10:27 to go in the half. That's when Noelle Sabah scored. So Smyrna played a good game in the first half defensively. Their goalie was really good, but there weren't many corners. And they were dominated during the regular season by Cape in corners. I think there was like 5 total corners, 3-2 in favor of Cape in the first half. But the second half, Cape just kind of dominated them, played defense, they scored another goal, and they got the 4-0 win. And by the way, guys, we have 2 nationally ranked field hockey teams in the state. Delmar's ranked in the top 10. The final poll hasn't come out yet. And Cape was in the top 25. They're both in the top 5 in the Mid-Atlantic region. That's how good they are. And those 2 programs send a lot of girls to big schools in the next level.
And I believe they played each other this year. Was it 2-1? 2-1
and
both times?
Yes.
2-1 both times.
One of them was overtime.
Yeah, so how about that? And again, That's the talent. Since that split, those two teams have been dominating each of those two divisions. Jay, and you see anything from that field hockey championship? I know Delmar, Newark Charter able to get to the championship this year.
I was just going to say, congratulations. You were talked about Smyrna's first time, Newark Charter's first time also.
Yeah, how about that? There you go. Some new blood in there.
Yeah, how about Newark Charter? They got to the Final Four in volleyball, the finals in field hockey, and the Final Four in soccer. So they had an impressive fall sports season down there at Newark Charter, but they they got in there, and you have to play Delmar, and it was not their night, but congratulations to them. But Delmar and Cape are on another level than any teams in the state, and now with the two divisions, they're just gonna rack up state titles until before the split, Delmar beat Cape.
Right.
Yeah.
I believe was that Delmar's first title.
It was. Yeah.
So
they've actually won 6 in a row.
Right. Yeah.
And that's a state record. Cape had the record at 5, and early on, before these two really got going, it was Tower Hill that dominated the sport.
Definitely Tower Hill.
3 different times they had 4 state title winning streaks. Wow. So they had the record. Then Cape got it. Now Delmar's taking it away. But hats off to those coaches. Jody Holloman from Delmar. That was her 211th win since she took over in 2009. So it's 12 years. She's won 211 games there. Unbelievable.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And, of course, Macy Bradford, who was Player of the Year in D2, and she scored 4 goals in that game. She had half of the 8.
She's one of those big-time Division I players, along with Josie Holloman.
Right, coach's daughter.
And the younger Holloman's probably going to follow right
Jordan,
behind them. Jordan Holloman. It's unbelievable. Talent down there is incredible.
Yeah. And there it is. You have it. Vikings and Wildcats, again, your state champions in field hockey. I think probably look forward to that game where they play each other as maybe the big game of the year. That becomes the big game when you're winning championships as often as those two programs. We're going to take our first break of the night. When we come back, we're going to talk a little volleyball and soccer. We crown champions of both of those sports coming up right here on Delaware Live Weekly.
Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution. We are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution. We are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution. We are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
but have you tried Premier?
And welcome back inside Delaware Live Weekly. Nick Alessandrini, Mike Lang, Glenn Frazier, and Jason Winchell here to recap some of our fall championships. We're going to look ahead to the semifinal football matchups we have coming up this weekend, and we're going to take a dive into a little basketball rankings and talk some DIAA basketball as that's set to get underway tomorrow night. So a lot going on here on this edition of Delaware Live Weekly, but now we're going to pick back up with our cross-country state championships. Some exciting state tournaments, guys, but the craziest one might have been the cross-country state championships at Brandywine Creek. The girls ran in a rain, wind, storm, monsoon. Glenn, you were there for that one.
Yeah.
But we saw some exciting finishes. Padua, they take home the Division I race. St. Mark's, they take home the Division II title. Talk a little bit about that state championship Saturday.
Believe it or not, the first race, which was D1, was a little bit better weather than D2. D2 was horrible. I mean, and that's the one my granddaughter ran in, so I had to go down there and videotape that. So I think, Mike, we barely saw the winners coming across because the weather was horrible.
I had to be out there trying to keep the finish clear so we could see it from the camera. And it was just I had an umbrella with the wind blowing everywhere. It was awesome.
It was. So Padua wins their 9th straight D1 title at Brandywine Creek State Park, and dominating fashion. I mean, Mary Dorsey and Sophia Holgado finished 1-2 to lead the Pandas, and then Geneva Lauer came in 5th, followed by Kelsey Wolf and Julia Query 9th and 10th. And oh, by the way, teammates Mary Flanagan and Jane Mazzeo, they were 14th and 15th, so they all medaled. The top 15 medaled. And of course, the 14th and 15th place finishers pushed the numbers for the other teams back even deeper. So what a showing for Coach Marnie Junta and her team. Appoquinimic's Courtney Candy was 3rd. Caesar Rodney runner Hannah Zura was 4th in that race. So in the scoring, Padua, 27 points. Now keep in mind, if you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the lowest score you can get is 15 across country. They had 27. 27. Charter was 2nd with 76, and then the next team was Caesar Rodney with 104. So that was the D1 race. And then D2, these guys are right. The rain picked up, all right? And I'm running down that hill so I can get the start for my granddaughter and get that on video. And I'm standing down there, and my daughter comes up, her mom, and she goes, "Are we nuts?" I said, "Yeah, we're pretty much." And we're sitting there, and the starter's giving all the rules to all the girls. And the girls are jumping up and down. It's like, let's get going. The fans are saying, come on, hit the gun. Yeah. But St. Mark's wins their first cross-country title in Division II. And they finished 2nd the previous 2 years to Ursuline. So congratulations to them. They won a Division I in 2006, but the conditions were just horrible. But the winner of the race was a young lady from Indian River, Bryn Crandall, and she ran the best time of Division I or II. She was under 20 minutes in 1937. The Herrera sisters did real well. Tiffany was 2nd, and I think they're both headed to the University of Delaware.
Yes, they are.
So I'm sure they're going to have fine careers there. But congratulations to St. Mark's. They finished 1st. Ursuline comes in 2nd, and then Conrad was 3rd. Good finishing by all of them, but you know, St. Mark's to finally unseat Ursuline. They've tried, and they did it in the senior year of the Herrera sisters. So I know they were happy about that. Tiffany's probably a little upset she didn't win the race because she won the year before for the first time. But her and the Crandall girl from Indian River, watch for them in the distance events and indoor and outdoor track coming up later this season.
And Jay, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, because Dee is still the head coach of cross country.
Yeah.
So congratulations, my English teacher from back in 2011.
Yeah.
He's winning races on his own. Whenever he's doing his own races, he's winning. I saw him up in Philly winning marathons, and now he's going to come down here, and his team takes home the Division II state championship. Congratulations, St. Mark's, guys. What do you think about the Spartans' performance?
It was you know, I was happy for the girls. You know, I talked to them last year after they finished 2nd, and Tiffany in particular, and you know, and I talked to Mike DeGennaro, and you know, they've been getting there. 3rd place 3 years ago, and then 2 second place finishes to Ursuline. Ursuline coached, by the way, by Jim Fisher, the former UD coach. The guy's a legend. Yeah. And then finally this year, you know, they've got, with more kids coming into that school, there's more athletes coming in, and they've really increased the talent level, and it paid off. And you can see, you know, they just kept green and gold, just kept coming. First it was Bryn Crandall in green and gold, and then St. Mark's was coming across in the green and gold. And you mentioned Conrad had a good day, and the other team I wanted to mention, the Division II girls, was St. Andrews. Had a spectacular day. They had, I think, 3 girls in the top 15 or something like that. They had a really good day for St. Andrews in less than ideal conditions. There were kids coming across that had fallen on the course.
Yeah.
They said there were some soft spots,
Oh, yeah.
and when you made turns, there were kids going down. So they were coming across covered head to toe in mud. And one of the St. Mark's runners fell on the course,
Right.
and basically had a teammate there, not to help, just to yell to get up. Come on, we got a race to win. So, yeah, congratulations to Spartans and everybody, because it was not a good day for a run or a walk.
Yeah, I was to say credit to all the runners who
Yeah.
participated, because I could tell you what, I would not be running in that race. I'd be
I'd be watching on the NFHS
Yep.
network.
Yeah,
right?
exactly
Yeah.
right.
Well, I mean,
Right after that D2 race was over,
Sun
I
came
made a beeline from my car because I was drenched. Yeah, the sun comes
Sun
out.
came out.
Sun came out for the
It
whole
didn't get
time?
it didn't get any. Well, yeah, the rain was gone. It didn't get any warmer, but
No.
at least the sun came out and
Right.
the wind went away. So yeah.
so
Yeah.
you never know what's in store for a lot of these outdoor fall championship events. Well, congratulations to all that was able to complete
She
the
mentioned the
race.
boys.
And we'll get there
Oh,
right
okay,
now,
I know
Mike.
we
Don't
were- we
worry.
don't forget
And-
the boys.
Oh, we won't. And we won't because
guys.
we saw Sally's take home that Division
Yeah, we
One
did.
crown. And Sally's another good performance for them in cross country. Then we look over to Division Two, and Tatnall takes home the Division II championship in boys cross country. So Jay, we'll start with you here. Sally's again sitting at the top of that podium in cross country this fall.
Yeah, last year Kate surprised them and took home, so I think the Sally's was, wanted this one on their home course, which is an advantage, especially a lot of downstates, a little flatter courses. This one a little hillier course. So I thought it favored Sally's going in, but after last year, nothing's a giving. And but Sally's they were on a mission, and they had 5 runners in the top 20, and they were really good, and they took home another state championship in cross country.
And Kate finished second, right?
And Cape was second.
Yeah, it was close.
Sal's able to get that state championship back from the Vikings this year. Congratulations to the Sal's. And again, our Division II state champion, Tatnall. So Tatnall able to pull it out in D2. Guys, talk a little bit about that one with Tatnall being your champions here in 2021.
It wasn't real close.
Really?
Tatnall dominated that Division II race. I forget the young man named Pizarro, I think.
Sounds
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And Sean Banco won the Division
Right,
I race from
won.
Sally's.
Yeah.
Real quick about Banco, it was pretty cool. It was their home course. The number of Salesian students who showed up to cheer him on, it was amazing to go out and watch cross country. You just don't think of cross country as being a spectator sport. There were Sally's kids all over Brandywine Creek, and they had the big Sally's flag. It made a great
They
picture.
travel well.
And they
we
did
know
as
that.
well. And then Tatnall did a great job as well. They really dominated. And also, I think Conrad had a great,
Yeah.
Yep.
a great race and a great season on both sides. I believe they were second place.
Yeah.
So yeah, really good. A good day. And like Glenn said, he was gone and the sun came out, and the wind kind of slowed down a little bit, so it got a little more bearable. But again, a lot of mud flying at Brandywine Creek a couple Saturdays ago. But yeah, it was good. Congratulations, Sally's and
Tatnall.
Tatnall.
Yep.
Yes, there you have it. Our
And then
4
Sally's, by the way,
cross-country
new
champions.
coach this year, so they have a new coach. But he seems to
state
have
title.
gotten the memo about what's expected over there. So yeah, so he got his first title.
Living up to the expectations, year number 1. You can't beat a state championship in your rookie season, that's for sure. And now, guys, heading back to the indoor sports. We're going to talk a little bit about volleyball now, guys. And Mike and Jay, you've been in that volleyball scene here in Delaware all fall, seeing almost every match taking a place out on the court. And this year, you saw something that you had seen before. The 3rd time we have a championship match between St. Mark's and Padua. Final back at University of Delaware, but the Spartans, too much for the Pandas once again this season.
Yeah, well, one thing, it was climate controlled, and it was so it was nice. It was great. It was great to be back at the Bob Carpenter Center. I'm going to give credit where it's due to whoever deserves the credit to get the event back there. It was a good crowd. St. Mark's, what a season they had. Nancy Griskowitz, the coach, talked to her after the match, and she said it was one of her better teams, and she just, they don't want to brag, but
24-0, 28-0.
yeah, they've won 33 straight matches. Their last loss was to Padua 2 years ago in the state championship, but they didn't have a weak rotation at all. And then the team was stacked and great kids, and you feel bad for Padua, but congratulations to St. Mark's. They won and they deserve to win, and I'm sure Nancy's already thinking about next year what she needs to do to keep that streak going. But it was a great night, and it was so much fun to be back at the Bob.
And Jay, you kept up with the Spartans all year. You've seen a lot of those matches.
They dropped 2 sets all year. The first set of the season against Friends, and then the last match against Ursuline, Sue Heiss's last home match, where Ursuline came in a little
juiced up, ready to go.
And they lost the set there, the second set in that match. Didn't lose another set all season, so they were the team, and they were balanced. She could run 8-9 deep, all of them could play, and it was a testament to how deep they were, and there's they have some first team all-staters, but they also had team role players that came in, did the role, and that's what makes a team special.
And congratulations to Sue Heiss in her final year being named Coach of the Year, as her and Dave Stover both are retiring. So our best to both of them.
75 years of coaching between the two of them. By 13 for Stover, your alma mater, by the way. Dave was a physics teacher at St. Mark's. And also congratulations to Bree Reed of Sussex Central, the State Player of the Year. And she'll be hitting them next year at James Madison with one of our favorite people, Danny Nathan from Friends. Danny's going to be back from her injury next year, so it'll be 2 Delawareans down in Harrisonburg playing for the Dukes, and it should be fun. Although they're not in the CAA anymore.
Dukes making the jump to the FBS, so a lot of stuff.
So I guess Danny and Brett can't go watch you play at Delaware, so I'll have to find you somewhere else.
Not anymore. No, it doesn't look that way. Right. But congratulations, Spartans, again. Straight sets to take home back-to-back championships for St. Mark's. Now, over to the pitch, talk a little soccer now, guys. We had our Division II tournament. Insane this year. Multiple overtime games. Tons of upsets. Final 4 teams were seeded 2nd, 9th, 11th, and 12th. Just to give you a little insight if you were unaware of that. And then the championship saw 2nd-seeded Caravel take on 12th-seeded St. Andrews. Caravel's strong second half propelled them to victory.
Yeah, first of all, what a crazy tournament was, especially, the 1 seed St. Mark's lost the penalty kicks to Newark Charter. We did a podcast, me and
the day
you,
before, right?
And I told you to watch out for that Newark Charter team. I thought that
Patriots are hot, not the New England Patriots. These Newark Charter Patriots are also hot this fall.
But eventually, I thought the best team in Division II all year was either Caravel or Indian River. And after Delmar pulled off the upset against Indian River, they came up and faced Caravel in the semis and scored first. And I was like, uh-oh, here comes Delmar, here comes the Wild. And then Caravel scored for 5 second-half goals.
Wow.
And was able to, and I thought for that moment, I was like, they're the best team in Division II. And it showed against St. Andrews. Great competitive game. Caravel led 1-0, and St. Andrews had all of a sudden had to play a man down after 2 yellow cards on a player. So, and then when you're trailing 1-0 and you're down 1 player, now you're taking chances. It left some deficiencies in the back end, and Caravel added a couple penalty kicks to seal a win. But it was overall Division II soccer tournament. Probably the state tournament of the year because of all the upsets and overtime games. We saw golden goals. We saw PK victories. I believe Delmar in the first round beat McCain 9-7 in penalty kicks. 9-7. You normally don't see it past 5. Not win it 9-7. It just shows how exciting that game was.
We had good crowds down at Dover for both events. These Mike and Jay, they did the soccer and I did the field hockey, and we were in a smaller stadium. They had everybody, all the stands on the one side where we were. But the D1 game, Smyrna and Cape, it was packed, and it was a really good crowd for Delmar and Charter too. And I know you guys had a great crowd, especially for the D1 game.
Yeah, Slay's and Caesar Rodney. Nick, the CR came in at 16-0-1.
It got the top seed.
They were the top seed. Sally's was the 3rd seed, but they had lost 4 games. One of those was the St. Benedict's, which we did, and
all out-of-state losses.
All out-of-state losses. The other state that stayed over there, and they did not lose to any Delaware teams. But you know what? They had trouble against Delcastle in the opening round. They had trouble against the Appo in the semifinal that we did. and they had trouble against Caesar Rodney in the final. This was not a cakewalk like we've seen before for Salesianum. Right. They played CR a couple years ago and beat them 7-0. Not this year. It was 2-0, and it was Jake Ross, who missed a lot of the season with an injury, did most of their scoring in the postseason.
It was for him, yeah.
Yeah, Jake had a great postseason. I think he was the player of the year. It was a great event down at Dover, and another good showing by both teams. CR, of course, is 10 minutes away from Dover High School, so they had a big crowd there.
Yeah.
The Sally's students, they show up wearing shirts and ties at the game on Saturday night, so it was a lot of fun to watch, and it was a good game, and two really good soccer tournaments, and good to see some other teams in there that normally wouldn't see. Del Castle got in Division I, McCain in Division II. I think they lost to Delmar. They lost to Delmar in that crazy 9-7 PK, and have the 11th and the 12th seeds in Division II. Division I was a little more chalk, but there's only 8 teams in Division I, so just some really good games. We were worried about that. Are we seeing another blowout? We really want close games, and we got a really close Division I game, which I thought was fun, because it's a lot more fun to call a close game than a blowout. You gotta dig deep in your A material if you're filling time. Glenn's been there, so we know. But yeah, it was good. It was fun.
And then Jay, you've kept up with the Sally's team. We talked about it on the podcast, and you talked about a little bit about Caesar Rodney. They were again #1 seed coming in, a great season for the Riders, just unable to take down that Sally's giant.
And I thought they outplayed Sally's most of that match. They
Especially
had
in the second half.
Yeah, they had 2 posts, a bunch of good shots on goal that they weren't able to finish. But I mean, if the luck breaks their way, it's easily 2-2, and we're going to overtime. So, I thought they played really well. Kind of didn't know what to expect, because like I said, 2 years ago when they were in the finals against Salesianum, it was 7-0 Sally's. Sally scored early and often, and Caesar Rodney was never in that game. So it was great to see. Like I said, I thought they played, especially in the second half, they outplayed Salesianum. And Sally's insurance goal came on a PK. So I thought it was a great final, great atmosphere, and Caesar Rodney had a great season, but was just unable to finish a couple times there. But I thought they played really well in the championship.
Sally's, your Division I champions. Caravel Bucks, your Division II soccer champions. Congratulations to both of those programs. We're going to take another break here, our second of the night. When we come back, we're going to look ahead to some of these fantastic semifinal matchups that are slated for this Friday and Saturday. We'll be right back.
High school athletics is not what it used to be. The sporting goods industry has been disrupted, adding to coach and athletic director daily challenges. BSN Sports stands ready to change the fundamentals of our industry, giving our customers the advantages they need right now.
Nick, I don't know whether you saw Kevin Burns was there tonight at St. George's game. I saw him in the parking lot there. Yeah, they're great team.
Your dedicated local sales pro is supported with nationwide team service, including sport and category experts.
I think it's all fresh.
Get the look of D1 colleges and pro teams with our program that streamlines ordering your staff apparel, player gear, and fanwear. Stretch your budget with our fundraising solution. Free and ready in minutes.
We're doing okay.
Our campus branding products are perfect for boosting school and team pride.
Start with Friday.
BSN Sports has the advantages you need right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna bore you guys with a lot of stats this time.
Oh, we love stats. We need stats. Give them a reason. Tune in.
High school athletics is not what it used to be. The sporting goods industry has been disrupted,
State News beat writers,
adding to coach and athletic director daily challenges.
Tim said
BSN Sports stands ready to change the fundamentals of our industry,
nutritional or
giving our customers the advantages they need right now.
Health and nutrition. That's right. At least they
kind of likes them. He likes them to lose.
At least they still got those two guys to cover for
Yeah,
us.
Andy, right?
Yeah, and Tim. And then Ben Heck will fill in and do some stuff too.
They actually cover more sports than
Your
they
dedicated
help.
local sales
And they have
pro is
stories
supported
the
with
next day.
nationwide team
News Journal
service,
does it.
They might have a wrap-up, maybe.
including sport and category
I don't know
experts.
what's up with them.
Get the look of D1 colleges and pro teams with our program that streamlines
Maybe there's
ordering your
nobody
staff
back
apparel,
there at the
player
desk
gear,
now
and
to-
fanwear.
I mean, I don't know.
Stretch your budget with our fundraising
18th
solution.
of December.
Free and ready in minutes. Our campus branding products are perfect for boosting school and team pride.
I was going to do it by day.
BSN
We have them
Sports
sorted by
has the
Friday and
advantages
Saturday.
you need right
So
now.
Friday we have Indian River Laurel, Woodbridge Friends, and Smyrna Dover. And then Saturday we go to St. E's, Tatnall, DMA Archmere, and Sally's Middletown. But the questions are kind of more generic. Like once I
High
go
school
through all that, I'm just gonna
athletics
ask them which
is
game
not what it
you
used to
do
be.
most.
The sporting goods
And it
industry
kinda
has
goes
been
that way.
disrupted,
Friday's tough.
adding to coach and athletic director daily challenges.
Yeah, right.
Even though I'm doing
BSN
Smyrna Dover, I
Sports
don't
stands
think that's
ready
gonna be
to
that
change
close.
the
But the
fundamentals
other
of
two,
our
I think, are
industry,
gonna be tight. Yeah.
giving our
Friday night.
customers the advantages they need
Iowa,
right
Laurel,
now.
And Ireland.
Woodbridge Friends.
How you doing? My name's Mike Cassidy. I'm the founder and president of Cassidy Painting. I started back in 1984, incorporated in 1986. I never had the word no in my vocabulary. When someone called me to do a job, I always said yes, whether it was a struggle, whether it was 7 days a week, sun up to sundown, it didn't matter. And with that philosophy, we were able to grow to the size we are. We employ close to 80 individuals.
We really enjoy being in the family business. I look forward to coming to work every day, and it's so nice to work with the people that we work with in the office. We've really become a family with them. We really create a family experience around here.
And Cassidy Painting is a very diversified company. We don't say no to anything. We deal with everything from epoxy floors to painting buildings to spray foam insulation, spray fireproofing. If it deals with a coating, we can handle it. So when our customers call and they're under the gun and they know the need to get a job done, they know who to call because we perform. We've always been performed. We've never been replaced out of 37 years of business. For any of your painting needs, we can handle it.
And welcome back inside Delaware Live Weekly. We're coming at you from the Middletown beautiful Buffalo Wild Wings, beer, wings, and food here at Buffalo Wild Wings. Nick Alessandrini, Mike Lang, Glenn Frazier, Jason Winchell here. It's semifinal weekend in December this year. It's semifinal week for our football matchups coming up on Friday and Saturday. The new realignment this season gives us 3 different classes of playoff matchups, so we'll dive into them. First, we'll talk about Friday night's games. Class A, Indian River traveling to Laurel. In Class 2A, Friends, they're heading to Scrapple Country to face Woodbridge. And then in Class 3A, we have Dover traveling to Smyrna to tangle with the top seed. Then on Saturday, we're blessed with 3 more fantastic matchups in Class 1A. St. Elizabeth's, they're going to host Tatnall. And then we get in Class 2A, a big rematch from just a few weeks ago. Number 1 Archmere and number 5 DMA. They meet again in the semifinals this time around. And Sally's traveling to Middletown for a rare Saturday battle between those 2 football giants here in the state of Delaware. Guys, we're going to start first with just generic question. I'm going to ask all 3 of you. Some fantastic ones set for Friday and Saturday. Mike, I'll start with you here. Which game intrigues you the most?
Of the 6,
We can put one in.
Well, no, I would go out to the 6 year. I'd say DMA Archmere for me. They just played a couple weeks ago. Since then, DMA has outscored its opponents 85-0 in 2 games. The team seems to be on a mission. Archmere, I obviously I follow the Catholic schools really close for my job, and I've just seen this year with the Hawks, they just seem to be so focused and more focused than I can remember them being before. So I think you just have the two of them coming together. I think it's going to be a fantastic game over there at Abyssinia. They moved the game to Abyssinia, which I thought was a great move as far as getting people into that stadium, because I think of the 6, that could have the biggest attendance of any of them, even with 2 schools with a grand total enrollment of under 1,000. So should be a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Glenn, coming to you now. You have some good games you're going to be calling this weekend. You going to stick with maybe one of those, or what game intrigues you the most in semifinal?
No, I'm not going to pick one of those 3A games because I really think, although both Dover and Salesianum have an opportunity to keep those games close, I'm not so sure that either one of those will be. I'm going with Woodbridge and Wilmington Friends. Those two started playing in 2011, Nick. They've played 11 times. Only twice has it been decided by more than one score.
Wow.
They play tight ball games. It's a great upstate, downstate rivalry. And yeah, it's a shame Pat Garriantes is not here because he stole all the Scrapple sandwiches down there one year.
Which he loves his
we've heard that I don't know how many times. Yeah, I might have to bring him one up to Abyssinia. But I'm looking forward to that one. Benny will be calling that game for us on the NFHS network. And you got fourth quarter magic, that mystique, that aura for Troy down there at Woodbridge. Great community atmosphere with the towns of Bridgeville and Greenwood. And then Wilmington Friends. I mean, Coach Tattersall and his staff, they just bring it all the time. Very cerebral, high IQ football players. Of course, his grandson's quarterback. They make good decisions. And I think that game's going to come down to who's more disciplined, commits the fewer mistakes and penalties. And great athletes on both teams. A little bit of speed there with Woodbridge, but I think that one's going to go right down to the wire.
Yeah, both of those teams have been phenomenal all season long. That's going to be a big one for sure on Saturday. Friday. Jason, now over to you. You're going to be again at Abyssinia on Saturday for a doubleheader there, but some great matchups Friday as well. Which one stands out to you?
Well, I was going to say DMA Archer, but I'm going to change it and say Class A, Indian River traveling to Laurel.
That's going to be a good
Friday night. Those two teams played.
Key one too.
A few weeks back, and it went overtime.
Yeah.
And a blocked kick in overtime gave Laurel the 1-point road victory. So I think it's going to be another exciting game, and it's going to be come down. I think Indian River is strong defensively. The difference I see is Laurel's speed. Laurel has tremendous speed. Indian River more of a ground and pound game, more time possession game. But Laurel, with their speed, that could be the difference in playing in front of their home crowd. But I expect another good one there on Friday night.
Yeah, those should be some good ones. And guys, again, some top seeds. Technically hosting, some technically not. Obviously, Archmere playing at Abyssinia. St. E's, Abyssinia is their home field, so they'll be hosting in that way. But some different matchups at some different places. Do you see maybe any of the top seeds or the higher seeds struggling this weekend? Maybe any team on upset watch, Mike?
I think the Indian River Laurel game could go either way. It was a 1-point game the first time around. IR's got the Hall brothers. The Halls, and Burke. And they do run it, but they have those three guys. I mean, Burke's like Refrigerator Perry back there. For you old heads like me who remember Refrigerator Perry, a 400-pound lineman who used to run the ball once in a while. And by the way, one of the greatest insults of all time, he has a Super Bowl touchdown and Walter Payton does not. But that's besides the point. But anyway, Burke can really punish people on the ground. Yeah. That one could be, but they both had 6-7 weeks to study each other, and maybe somebody's come up with the magic potion since then. But I think that could be an upset.
Glenn, any teams that you've thought about maybe have a chance to upset maybe a higher seed besides Indian River, or again, you kind of with the games you're doing like those home teams maybe?
Well, the intriguing matchup that I just talked about, to me, that's going to be a tight game. Mm-hmm. Woodbridge has got to watch out. I think Wilmington Friends can win the ball game. Yeah, and ironically, the 1, 2, and 3 seeds in all classes advanced. The 4 seeds did not. The 5 seeds beat them. But 4 or 5 should be close matchups, and they did turn out to be that way. The other games, I'm not so sure. I mean, that they'll be that tight. St. E's game with Tatnall, I think it's going to depend on how healthy is Benson. If he doesn't really go too much, it could tighten things up a little bit more there in that one, although St. E's still has the weapons to win the ball game. And I've been touting Archmere's program all season long. I just think that they're the class at 2A, and I think they win that game with DMA, but anything could happen in that one.
Sure. Jason, to go over to you now. Any teams maybe you see pulling the upset off this weekend and punching their ticket to the championship?
Well, DMA can, if they play smart football, do not turn it over, do not commit any, many penalties, and I think they have to get the green off early in this one. First time they played, they went to that screen passing game early, and Archmere was all over it and stopped it. When they finally started running the ball, they picked up chunks of yards, but they could not finish inside the red zone because of some turnovers and on downs and stuff like that, Nick. Archmere scored 3 times when they had the ball after Archmere DMA turnovers inside DMA's 20. So they didn't go far for
It's
either
hard to
their
win
scores.
games like that.
But what Archmere will do is if you turn the ball over, they're going to take it for 7 points. And that's why I said DMA can win the game. They can't turn it over, and they can't take those penalties they did the first time. And like I said, I would like to see them come out with more of a balanced attack. I thought the first game they were pass happy early in that first quarter, and by the time they got to the ground game, it was too late.
And Pat and I had the luxury of doing the game with Caravel this past weekend, and kind of a similar story. That game was close early. They turned the ball over early again, something we talked about in the pregame show that couldn't happen if they were to beat Caravel at home. And they kind of figured it out in the second half. They stopped turning the ball over in the second quarter. They started to get the run game going. They did come out and throw a little bit early, kind of like we talked about, but then they got Devin Green going. I believe he ran for 150 yards and a hat trick, 3 touchdowns. So once that clicked, they kind of got the offense rolling. And like you said, Mike, 85-0 in the past 2 games. We'll see if they can ride that momentum into a tough game with, like you said, Archery. That should be a fantastic one, so definitely one to look out for. And now, Jason, I'm going to start with you here again. As we were just talking about this matchup, we talked about how good Class 2A had been all season long. Maybe the most balanced. Is that how you see it here in the semifinals? Maybe the best four teams
absolutely. I think those 2 games could be the tightest 2 of the weekend. Mm-hmm. Maybe Laurel, Indian River in there. But as a pair, it's the best pair on paper by far.
Glenn, you agree?
Yes, I do.
Mike agreed too. So there you have it, Class 2A. Definitely going to be a battle.
Class 1 should be fun. I think Class 1 is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think as far as balance goes, there's no doubt it's Class 2.
So again, and while we're on the topic here, we might as well finish or keep going with Archmere and DMA as we were talking about. Archmere will play DMA in the only day game this weekend at the New Abyssinia Stadium. You think there's a difference between playing at day and at night? I'm not sure how many games DMA has had the chance to play with that sun up this season. Archmere, on the other hand, they're used to that.
I mean, it fits Archmere's pattern, and I've known a lot of football coaches at every level, and they're kind of creatures of habit. They like what they like, and so maybe. But if you think DMA is going to show up at noon Saturday or 1 o'clock Saturday and be half asleep and their minds are going to be elsewhere, you're sadly mistaken. And I don't think Archmere is going to approach it that way. They're going to approach it like it's a 7 o'clock Friday night for DMA, with the lights on and the Seahawks flapping and the cadets there and everything else.
Well, Glenn, Jay, before we head and finish up our semifinal segment here, anything you want to add about semifinal weekend coming up, some big matchups? I know both of you will be at some of those games. Any closing comments here as we get to our semifinal weekend here in early December?
I'd like to address the last question you said about the day
absolutely,
game versus the night games. It makes a big difference for the announcing crew. It should be nice and warm on Saturday afternoon. I'm not so sure about the night games.
Yeah, definitely. That is definitely.
It's going to have to be warmer than last weekend. That's for sure.
Well, like we said, some fantastic games Friday night. Indian River, they travel to Laurel, Indian River, and Class 2A friends, they're going to head again down to take on Woodbridge, and then Smyrna and Dover. Those are your Friday night matchups. Saturday, St. E's and Tatnall, DMA and Archmere, and Sally's and Middletown. And I know we haven't touched much on Middletown or Smyrna for the most part here in this segment. Middletown and Appa was tied at the half. It was a 0-0 ball game. We've seen maybe a little rust out of those teams that had first-round byes. Did you guys see that in any of your games for some of those?
Well, I was at that
yeah, so
Middletown.
you were with us, but Glenn, did you see anything like that as well for some of those top teams facing maybe those lesser seeds, giving them a little bit of a more difficult time?
Well, it happened to Dover.
Yeah.
Dover played the last game early in November. Then they had their bye week, the last regular season week, and then they got another first-round bye because they were in the 4-5 game, so they didn't play in that opening round. Dover hadn't played in 3 weeks, and they looked a little rusty early on. Nick can attest to that, too. Now, St. George's with 2 weeks off, so they were both, a little bit rusty in the ball game, and I think that had something to do with the score being 9-7. I think the execution was off a little bit early in the ball game. All the points were scored in the second half.
Same, absolutely. Same in Middletown Appo.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously called the Middletown game, and I don't know if you saw the same thing I did, but Apple was lights out on defense. And then
phenomenal!
They came out
half.
and kicked that onside kick and just really turned the whole thing around.
And that's what I'm saying. Mike made the point there. Coach Zach Blum, he said after the game it was a wake-up call for him playing against that tough Appo team. In the second round, coming off that big win against Cape the week prior for the Jaguars. And again, 0-0 at the half. What does Middletown do to start the second half? Coach Blum knew they needed a spark, and they pulled Sean Payton and the New Orleans Saints in the Super Bowl in 2009. They do the onside kick recover, and then from that point forward, they found that rhythm. It was all Middletown on Friday.
Yeah, and I think they just needed something, obviously, to get them going, and that was it. And their defense played great all night. Ryan
Those
Von
three
Brandt
guys
had
up
such a
front
great,
too are phenomenal.
They gave up nothing to McConomy all night. And Von Brandt, they were pinned inside their 5-yard line. They were pinned on their 1-yard line or the half-yard line a couple of times, and they were just Apple was just trying to pick up 3 yards so they have some room to punt. And Von Brandt couldn't even pick up anything. They were lucky they didn't get a safety. Middletown's defense, they were there all night. Just took the offense just a little while to get started, but once they did, they scored. Well, they only scored 2 offensive touchdowns, but. It was which
is another saying something else about that offense.
It was a great performance by the Middletown defense all around. And the Appo defense, they were outstanding most of the night.
Again, if you're Coach Blum, want to see that offense click a little bit more, we'll see how they do against the tough Sally's defense this weekend. But those 3 guys up front, I think it's Burke, Cody Harris-Miller, and Durajaye. Phenomenal. Hard to find a better 3 guys on your defensive line here in the state of Delaware. So we're going to take our final break. When we come back, we're going to jump into basketball. That's right. It's that time of the year already. We're into December. Women's basketball, some rankings, and some basketball talk right after the break.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Sodell Concepts. Today we're at Thompson Island Brewing Company in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Come check us out. Located in the Rehoboth Gateway next to Blue Coast Rehoboth, Thompson Island will follow the Sodell tradition of serving beautiful, simple food that will pair perfectly with our fresh homemade beer. Thompson Island is the perfect place to have dinner with your family, enjoy happy hour with friends at the bar, or spend a day in the beer garden playing bocce ball and ping pong. Thompson Island Brewing Company in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, open 7 days a week. See you soon. Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Sodell Concepts. Today we're at Thompson Island Brewing Company in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Come check us out. Located in the Rehoboth Gateway next to Blue Coast Rehoboth, Thompson Island will follow the Sodell tradition of serving beautiful, simple food that will pair perfectly with our fresh homemade beer. Thompson Island is the perfect place to have dinner with your family, enjoy happy hour with friends at the bar, or spend a day in the beer garden playing bocce ball and ping pong. Thompson Island Brewing Company in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, open 7 days a week. See you soon. Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Sodell Concepts. Today we're at Thompson Island Brewing Company in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Come check us out. Located in the Rehoboth Gateway next to Blue Coast Rehoboth, Thompson Island will follow the Sodell tradition of serving beautiful, simple food that will pair perfectly with our fresh homemade beer. Thompson Island is the perfect place to have dinner with your family, enjoy happy hour with friends at the bar, or spend a day in the beer garden playing bocce ball and ping pong.
At Ferris Home Improvements, your family's comfort and safety is always our top priority.
If you call us for your roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchen, and bathroom needs, you can expect health-screened craftsmen who wear gloves and face masks and follow minimum 6-foot distancing, virtual conferences to discuss project details, job quotes delivered electronically or brought to your door for your review and approval, and our showrooms in Newark and Rehoboth Beach remain open for limited appointments.
We're here together.
Operating with precautions.
To protect our staff.
And our customers.
At Ferris Home Improvements, your family's comfort and safety is always our top priority.
If you call us for your roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchen, and bathroom needs, you can expect health-screened craftsmen who wear gloves and face masks and follow minimum 6-foot distancing, virtual conferences to discuss project details, job quotes delivered electronically or brought to your door for your review and approval, and our showrooms in Newark and Rehoboth Beach remain open for limited appointments.
We're here together.
Operating with precautions.
To protect our staff.
And our customers.
At Ferris Home Improvements, your family's comfort and safety is always
Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution, we are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home.
And welcome back to Delaware Live Weekly. Nick Alessandrini, Mike Lang, Glenn Frazier, and Jason Winchlaw here from the Middletown Buffalo Wild Wings. And now it's time to talk a little hoops. We know we got some football up ahead, but it's basketball time. We are now here into the fall-winter season as basketball underway this week as we start tomorrow. So first we're going to start with a little girls basketball talk and our initial top 10 rankings. We'll give you 10 through 5 first on your screen. And again, this is very raw rankings. Again, we haven't had a chance to see anybody play yet, so we're kind of just putting these together to give you a little bit of an idea, give ourselves a little bit of an idea. And coming in at number 10, the Appoquinimink Jaguars, followed by Delmarva Christian at 9, Tatnall at 8, Archmere at 7, Woodbridge at 6, and at 5 is Ursuline. So I gave you 10 through 5 with through Ursuline in there at number 5. I know not a lot to really be said right now this early in the season, but guys, just initial thoughts on our top 10 rankings. You know what? I'll just finish it out then.
Yeah.
Cape Henlopen 4, St. Elizabeth's 3, coming off a state championship last season. Caravel 2, a lot of players coming back for that Buccaneer team. They'll be fun to watch this year. And of course, Sanford with a lot of underclassmen at number 1. So some great programs atop that list. It's going to be an interesting top 10, an interesting season in girls basketball. Just initial reactions to what we're looking at here in our top 10 rankings. Mike, I'll start with you.
A lot of the familiar faces are in there, but they are there for a reason. If you get a chance to see, I think Sanford, I think they're returning all 5 starters. They've added a couple, at least one transfer.
I think a transfer too, yeah.
They're going to be something special, and they're coming off a 2-point loss in the state championship game, which I know is bugging them. Zy Kilgo is outstanding. Dallas, I can't remember.
Dallas Pierce.
Sorry, I can't remember her last name. Yeah. Dallas Pierce is already getting Division I offers, and Maya Carroll is back. I mean, they're just loaded. I hate to even leave anybody out. Caravel's got the reigning player of the year in India Johnston. We love India. She's a fantastic player. And she's not alone, the Nia Price and Josiah Crawford. Kristen Caldwell's got another great team down there at Caravel, and just on down the line, just some outstanding talented teams here. Cape Henlopen, again, I think is a team that flies under the radar because they play in Lewis, but they're coming up to play a few games up here this year, and looking forward to seeing them. And just down the line, it's a really good time to be a girls basketball fan here in the state of Delaware.
Yeah, it should be a great season. Glenn, Jay, now over to you guys. Just initial reactions here for our top 10.
Is that you?
Yeah,
in your bunker?
Yeah.
You were doing this in the bunker?
I was in the bunker.
That's right, down in the
It's a wonder he has any time for anything but football right now, but I'm impressed.
So yeah, like Mike said, it's the usuals up there. I'd like to see Appo and Delmarva Christian in that bottom half. Appo's come on strong the last couple of years in girls basketball. We got a chance to stream them a couple of years ago against Cesar Rodney, and it was not one of their better games. So, it's good to see them up there. But it's Archmere, Tatnall, Woodbridge, Ursuline. They're all used to being there. St. Elizabeth's defending champs. They lost a lot to graduation. Maybe they're up there a little high at 3. But they're in the new Diamond State. They're joined the Diamond State Conference this year, so they'll have some tough matchups with Archmere, and it's going to be great to see how this plays out. But all the heavyweights are right there again, that 1 through 5.
Yeah, it should be a good season, Glenn. I know all of us are in football mode right now, but it's underway. We got to talk about it here. Season getting started. Just thoughts on our girls' rankings.
Well, I'm just, since he's not here, I'll speak for Pat and the St. E's girls. So I'm sure he's happy to see them ranked up there high. But really, I got to tell you guys, I'm not in basketball mode yet.
Right.
I'll be honest with you.
And Mike, now just to go over to you, obviously St. Elizabeth's, you and Jason at that championship game.
Yeah.
Me and Nick were there as well. What a game that was at
crowd,
Dover.
Crowd of dozens.
Yeah. A great game. St. E's state champions coming back this year. Do you see them? What chance do you give them to maybe run or run it back this year, go back to back? And do you see those top 3 teams as maybe the 3 teams to look out for this year?
Well, I think Sanford and Caraval right now are probably right now they're
top 2.
The top 2, just based on looking at rosters. St. E's has Rory Siskowski as the sharpshooter, and a great kid by the way. Rory's up there, and then they have Erica Huggins was started as a freshman last year, and she's back. They have Farrah White is back, their point guard, so they do have some talent returning. You know, the cover's never really bare at St. E's, and I don't think Dan Cooney gets enough credit for the job he does over there. He's a fantastic coach, and so yeah, St. E's maybe a little high, but in a couple of weeks after we get a chance, especially after the tournaments of Christmas.
Oh yeah.
By a month from now, this might look. We'll have a lot better idea of where teams really belong. I wanted to say for Delmarva Christian, Jay and I were talking on the way down here. They graduated Grace Fetterman from last year's team, but if you get a chance to go see Delmarva Christian, they have a guard by the name of Ainsley Bell. She's a junior this year. That girl can shoot the lights out. And when she's kind of streaky, but when she's hitting, there's not too many players in this state that are more fun to watch than Ainsley. So if you get a chance to see Delmarva Christian, go out and watch them. They're going to be. They're always going to be fun to watch. It's the Royals.
The Royals, yeah.
And whether they're winning or losing, they're going to be fun to watch. So if you get a chance to go see them, that's a team I would definitely want to go see. And I'll talk about our game of the week that we're going to talk about later. We're going to try to get them along. We haven't finalized the schedule that far into the season, but we're looking at it.
And Jay, now over to you quickly here as we wrap up girls basketball. We talked about the familiar teams we see in the top 5. Sanford, they're sitting at number 1 right now. Are they going to be your preseason? Obviously, technically they are with ranked number 1, but are they the team that you think has the most or the best chance to bring home a state championship this year? And then after that, do you see maybe a team in the bottom half of that top 10 that can maybe make a run towards some of those top teams come playoff time?
First of all, Sanford's my favorite.
Yeah.
They returned all 5 starters. They got a couple. I believe one girl's coming back from an injury, didn't play much last year. They got a transfer, so he's going to run 7 or 8 deep and probably has the top 8 players. The top rotation of 8 in the state. Caraval with Johnson, Coach Caldwell does a great job over there, so I wouldn't rule them out, or St. E's or Cape.
Yeah.
But Sanford would be my favorite right now. I don't think anyone, if Sanford plays their ball, I don't think anyone can touch them. Also, in the 6 to 10 range, I like Archmer. Archmer always seems to be up there at the end of the season. A good program. No matter who graduates, they always seem to be bringing new players, and they have that Lauren Kim who can shoot the ball, and she's a fun player to watch. So. I think Archmer could be up in that top 5 at the end of the season.
Yeah, definitely a team to watch out for. And again, there's your girls' top 10. Sanford, they sit number 1 right now in our rankings. Now we're going to head over to the boys. We got our top 10 rankings. We'll split it up into groups of 5 for you. We'll start with number 10, and it's a team, guys, that last year was playing in the state championship. That's Smyrna. The Eagles come in at number 10 so far to start the year. Number 9, Tower Hill. Number 8, Appoquinimink. 7, Sanford. And 6, William Penn. So Glenn quickly off the top there. The Smyrna Eagles, a team you got to see a little bit last year. Lost some players, made it to the state championship. And what a game that was. Put up a big fight against Sanford and Nana Joku, who's over to Villanova. They got that victory. But Smyrna, very talented team last year, coming into this year at number 10.
And if I'm not mistaken, they have a couple of good players to come back and build around. I know Devin DeMoe, who's we saw how athletic he is in football.
Whenever he wants to stop catching touchdowns,
the kid's got some ups. Yeah, so he's going to be good. The other names escape me that were coming back. There was a kid that came off the bench and played real well against Salesianum and hit a couple of big threes down at the end that were huge. And I just, the name escapes me right now because I'm still in that football mindset.
Exactly.
But just mentioning that, I always thought it was intriguing that there are several teams here in the top 10 that have players that play football.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a few that are still playing this weekend. So there's that transition, and your body has to get back, has to get healed, has to have time to get healed up from football, all that banging around. And then you got to transition into the basketball mode where it's not supposed to be as physical as football, but can be at times. So I think that's important. I know Smyrna, I believe Appo, I think Von Brandt plays basketball. If not, it should.
6'7", right? Yeah,
It
he should be out there. If you're the coach, go get it.
And St. Andrews is not in the top 10, but their quarterback, Lilly, he's playing basketball. I know Middletown has some basketball players on the football team. So, they're still playing, and Dover, I think, as well, has a couple playing on their football team. So, to me, it's intriguing early in the season to see the transition and see how those teams play, maybe without the football talent.
Yeah, definitely something to pay to, especially this week, Glenn. Like you said, if Smyrna has a game the next week or two, or some of those teams that you mentioned, we'll see kind of the progression of them without those players, and then about a month later when they get some of those players back. So definitely something to keep an eye on as we give you our 5 through 1 now. At 5, the Howard Wildcats coming in at number 5. 4, Dover Senators. Seaford coming in at our preseason number 3. Middletown number 2, and Salesianum number 1. Interesting top 5 here. Mike, anything stand out to you? Again, all just preseason rankings. Had a chance to check these teams out yet, but just kind of an initial pre-rank for us.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at, I see Seaford. I mean, the Blue Jays may not have been that high since Delano DeShields was playing for him back in the mid-'80s. That's good to see the Blue Jays. They had a good year in football, and they got their preseason ranked number 3. One thing I want to say about Sally's being ranked preseason number 1, they have, I was looking at their schedule last night, they play, out of their 20 games, 7 of them are against teams from not in the 302.
Right, I was going to say.
They're playing Imhotep Charter. They're playing Roman, right?
Roman Goretti, yeah.
We're going to see how they match up.
Archbishop Wood, I believe.
And they're playing Polis out of Maryland. So they may have
tough schedule.
They may have an L or 2 on there that might knock them down, but like their soccer team, they might be in that 4 or 5 range and still might be the best or second best team in the state, which is going to be fun. I was looking at Tower. They graduated Mac from last year's team and Ricky Detweiler.
And those
they do
phenomenal
have some guys,
players for the Hillers.
Yeah, but they did have some guys. There was a couple of twins that played for them, and they had some underclassmen. So I think that's probably a good ranking for Tower. It's I like Seaford. Oh, that jumped right at it.
Yeah,
man.
right. That's
Go Blue Jays.
And Jay, now over to you. You see Seaford at 3. Maybe some people are rubbing their eyes. Is that Sanford at number 3? No, Sanford, they're a little bit further back. They're sitting in around the 7-8 area. New coach, there's no Stan Waterman at Sanford this year. He's over at Del State now doing great things with that program. What do you expect out of Sanford? We got to see them a little bit in the summer at the Grail.
I was going to say.
Day 1 was a little Day 2, though, they played a lot better.
I was going to say, Coach Perry, he's got a young team.
Yeah.
And I thought they got better as the summer got on and he implemented the system. I think by season end, they're probably going to be in that top 5. But, it's hard to tell when you haven't seen the team play that much. It's not the normal Sanford schedule either this year. Stan always go to Florida, and Massachusetts.
Yeah, absolutely.
He didn't play a national schedule. Not that Sanford isn't, but it's not the normal schedule. So, a chance for them to build.
They're playing that play-by-play.
Yeah, they're playing in play-by-play.
Chase Fieldhouse?
Yeah.
Against Parkland, PA.
Parkland, PA. So they still have a tough schedule, but it's a chance for him to build some confidence in that program, players, and I think by season end, I would not want to be playing Sanford come state tournament time.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, maybe coming off some state championships, including one just last season, so seeing them down at 7 may be a little odd. You'll probably see them creep up, like Jay said, towards the end of the year. Glenn, you saw some teams between 10 and 6. You talked about a little bit about your Smyrna Eagles. Any teams between 10 and 6 you see maybe making a run? You've had a chance to check out a couple of them in the past. And again, we don't really know much yet. But maybe a team like Smyrna, someone we talked about, Devin DeMoe and some of those guys at number 10, maybe they make a run late.
Yeah, Coach Mears does a good job with that program. He's been there for quite a while now, and it's a very big school district. So, and again, it's just too early. You don't know who's coming out, who's injured, who's still playing football or another sport.
Yeah.
So at this point, nothing really jumps out at me 6 through 10 at all.
And now, Mike, you see it, you look at the top 2, Salesianum and Middletown. Again, Middletown ranked 2nd. They get Jaden Rogers, the Caravel transfer. We had a chance to check him out at the Grail this year. Kind of saw him in Middletown. Oh, Jaden Rogers over at Middletown now, so playing with the Cavaliers. They've got some talent there at number 2. Sally's at number 1. What kind of makes those two programs the top teams as we come into the year? Sally's a team that you know well.
Yeah, well, I know they have Justin Mullins going to be a senior this year, and his stock has really risen over the summer. He's getting a lot of looks. I think he's getting some D1 looks now, which a lot of people before thought maybe he was a Division II, but he's getting a lot of Division I interest, which is great to see.
Yeah, I think so.
They have some guys coming back. Darion Williams will be back this year, and then a couple other guys.
Hinson.
Isaac
He
Hinson.
impressed me in
Isaiah
summer.
Hinson, who's getting also his stock is shooting through the roof. They thought for about a week they'd have James Johns on the team. Obviously, that didn't last.
Yeah.
That would have made him, to me, that would have been a cinch number one pick.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
But, you're thinking, basketball, you got 3 top players like that, you can really do some damage. So I think the Sal's are probably good there. Like I said, they're playing that schedule where they might take a few L's. So maybe people will be like, wow, Sally's only 3-2 or 4-3 or whatever. Maybe they don't belong up there, but don't fool yourself.
Yeah, I was going to
I was going to say they might be 1-6 after December. I mean, a tough December schedule. They have St. Andrews to open the season, but then after that, they're playing some really good programs there. But I also look at that. It's a great job by the coach. He went out and scheduled them. If you want to be the best in Delaware, why not play some of the best? Even if you take some loss, I think come tournament time, it helps playing against those teams because now you know that you can play with them. So I like that fact of it. But like Mike said, they might take some bumps early, but and then in the second half they have their normal Smyrna's, William Penn's, Sanford's, and Howard's, all teams ranked in the bottom half.
They had to make the tournament, so
right. But they will with their bonus points for sure. So.
And there was some talk about expanding the tournament again this year,
right,
so we'll see how that actually ends up.
And then Mike and Jay, also some rumors going around. You guys are bringing back the girls' game of the week.
Is that a rumor?
That's what a little birdie told me. You guys want to talk a little bit more about that? And
yes, the schedule's not complete yet. I don't think we even announced where we're going next week. Our plan is to start next Thursday.
Yep.
And we're hoping to have, we're hoping to have Wilmington Charter and St. Mark's next Thursday night. And we're going to finalize that with the schools. And we're kind of looking for, December is a little light on the regular season stuff. And then we get into the tournaments, the Viking Invitational, the Diamond State. So I think we're going to play more, not week to week, but we're not going to lay out the entire schedule right now because you never know who might be the breakout team a month from now. But yeah, we are going to have the First Aid Orthopedics game of the week, and it's going to start next week, and we're excited, and we're going to get as many teams on. We can't promise that we're going to have 25 different teams on, but we're going to get as many teams as we can, and we want to have the best games we can as well. So it's happening.
Yep, it's almost that time. Again, we are going to have our First Aid Orthopedics basketball game of the week. Again, that's all coming in just a little while from the Delaware to the beach to the bridge and beyond. That's First State Orthopedics. So, I'm a company man. I like to do what we do. So, again, your First State Orthopedic games of the week, they'll be coming at you shortly. And, guys, some girls' games coming up this week, Jay.
Yeah, I think there's a big one Friday at the I want to see how St. Mark's and Mount Pleasant at the AI tournament, how both those teams are. Right now sitting outside the top 10, but could make an early season statement in that one. Not much on the schedule. You also have Dover Sussex Central girls, which is a early Henlopen North battle. It's interesting because Sussex Central for years were up there in the top 5 in girls basketball. They've fallen off the last couple of years. Be interested to see if Ware Dam and Dover sit in the girls after the first week's games.
And again, basketball just around the corner, but don't forget football semifinal matchups this weekend. Again, championships are just around the corner in our fall sport of football. Now it's time to get to our top performers here at Delaware Live Weekly, and we're going to start, Mike, with someone we talked about earlier, or another one, but this Alyssa going to be one of our top performers this week.
Yeah, Alyssa Ruggieri from St. Mark's and Goldie Beacom, the CACC Women's Soccer Rookie of the Year and First Team All-League. Alyssa led the conference in goals, assists, and points. 33 points, tied for 5th in the school's single-season list. 9 assists, tied for 6th, and 12 goals, are tied for 9th. I know Alyssa, she's a great kid, and that is an honor that she earned, and congratulations to Ms. Ruggieri, one of your fellow Spartans.
Absolutely, go Spartans. And now Kaylee Atlowski, someone we saw play at Caravel, the phenomenal basketball player for the Bucks. A couple trips to the Bob Carpenter Center for her under her belt. She's one of our top performers of the week.
Yeah, she was named to the D3Hoops.com Team of the Week for the week, averaging 18 points and 16 rebounds over the Seagulls' 2 victories over Stevenson and Rowan on November 23rd and 27th.
Yeah, so she picked it up right where she left off.
Yeah, I was going to say she was I thought at Caravel she would get those doubles when when the team needed it most, and she's doing that at the college level. It's great to see the local athletes go into college and succeed.
Absolutely. Kaylee Atlowski, again, one of our top performers. And Glenn, someone that we saw back in the day, Nashawn Bones Highland, the St. George's alum, went first round this year, drafted the Denver Nuggets, and he's starting to heat up for them, coming back off an injury. He's looked good.
In the Mile High City, scored a season-high 19 points against the Miami Heat. And the most important part of this is 5 for 8. That's pretty good numbers from beyond the arc. So he should have took a few more shots. I mean, hey,
exactly right.
You got it going, man.
I'm just hoping he gets with the injuries that the Nuggets had, that he's going to get more of an opportunity to play. Because not that they're listening to me, but I think the Nuggets shortchanged him on minutes early in the season.
And we'll let him go, let him loose. That's
Let
what we
him
say
loose.
here at Delaware Live
Let
Weekly.
those play.
So again, a lot going on. Don't forget some big football matchups, semifinals, all you can catch on the NFHS network. Again, powered this weekend by Delaware Live Sports. Again, on Friday, Indian River, they travel to Laurel, Friends, and Woodbridge. And then, of course, Dover and Smyrna, some good ones there. And then on Saturday, St. Elizabeth's, Tatnall, DMA, and Archmere in that rematch. And, of course, Middletown and Sally's. Some phenomenal semifinal matchups, again, that you can all catch this weekend on the NFHS network. So that'll kind of wrap up our show here tonight, our semifinal preview look ahead, and also touched on a little basketball today. So we marked all the boxes here from our Middletown Buffalo Wild Wings. For Nick Alessandrini, Mike Lang, Glenn Frazier, and Jason Winchell, we will see you this weekend on the NFHS network. Check out some football.
Your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution. We are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions.